Hi, I'm Chuck Thomas, and I'm the chair of the Conservation Advisory Council for the City of Newburgh, and I'm also the city's representative, one of the city's representatives on the Restoration Advisory Board for Stewart Air National Guard cleanup of Washington Lake. And we're here tonight to provide opportunity for people to ask questions and learn about what the situation is with our pollution at Washington Lake and ask questions about the people that are doing the cleanup. Of course, my point of view is you broke it, you fix it. And I think the Air National Guard knows that, and they're doing their best to fix it. But we're waiting for government support, and we're also waiting for the public to come out and come and speak their mind about getting our water fixed. We had a robust water supply for the city of Newburgh since 1880, and before the New York City had their own aqueduct system, we had water for the city of Newburgh. And we want it back, and that's where we stand right now.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Rollison with Newburgh Clean Water Project, and I just wanted to share a little bit about these two images that we have here on the wall. The first one is actually from a news article that was from 1990, and in it, it's talking about the town of New Windsor treatment center folk and the municipal representatives questioning and being concerned about PFAS foam that was coming off the base and floating in the waters there. And what really stuck out for me is that we have the colonel at the time referring to PFAS foam as biodegradable. And also there are mentions of ongoing problems of leakage in large amounts, and also several incidents where foam leaked from the town sewer system, meaning that this wasn't a one-off, which oftentimes when we're talking about the timeline of exposure and spillage, people always think it's like one incident that happened in 1990, but this sort of indicates that there were more times that happened. And then this is an image that I took when I was on the base this past May 2024, and this is actually the edge of Wreck Pond. And so a lot of these RAB meetings where they're going into detail about the filtration that's happening there, it's only indicating this area here, which is the filtered water that's been treated. All this water here that we see that's bypassing that system and going over the weir is contaminated, unfiltered water. This date that I took this is averaging 1,800 gallons of contaminated water per minute that is flowing freely over the weir and into the environment, going straight into Silver Street and other areas. So this is a real problem, because to me, when we're sitting in these RAB meetings and talking about all the efforts to filter, it's this little bit. And really, that's not a success story that I want to applaud. This really is a failure of 1,800 gallons a minute flowing when it was less than an inch of rainfall. So that's just something to think about when we're moving forward, and considering that the more of this water that flows unfiltered off our base, the more the cleanup is going to be, the heftier the price tag for it. And it just seems a daunting task, but needs to be addressed. But this is where it starts. This is where we need to get things corrected. We have a RAB meeting coming up in November 13th. Unfortunately, it's completely virtual. So what Newburgh Clean Water Project has done is we've RSVP'd a room at the library for November 13th. You can come and hang out with us as we engage online for the virtual RAB meeting. If you can't log in at home, you're more than welcome to join us. And then also, I would say, not just this meeting, even though they can be a little overwhelming, try to come in, sit down, join these RAB meetings, keep up to date, visit our Facebook page, get information about what's going on.
Good evening. I'm Kyle Conway. I'm president of the local NAACP branch for Newburgh Highland Falls, and I urge people, I implore people, please take care of your community, because if we don't take care of it, who is? When they don't care about we, then it's up to us. And you see, there are people here, but we need more people. We need more soldiers. We need more soldiers for this army of volunteers who want to contribute to our community. So please, this is not something to sleep on. It's time to wake up.
Hey, I'm Mike Shade. I am a member of the Newburgh Restoration Advisory Board, overseeing the investigation and hopefully cleanup of the PFAS contamination here in Newburgh. I've been organizing and campaigning on toxics for over 20 years. I work for a national environmental health advocacy NGO called Toxic Free Future, and we've been working to protect people and communities from dangerous chemicals like PFAS for more than 40 years, and we're really excited to be part of this effort to hopefully get PFAS contamination cleaned up here in Newburgh so that we don't have to worry about this problem for generations to come.
Hi, I'm Jay Beaumont. I'm on the Restoration Advisory Board for the Stewart Airport and Air National Guard Base Forever Chemical Cleanup. And today I have a groundwater model that I can use to demonstrate some of the pollution concepts that are going on at the airport right now. So in our model, over here we have the recharge area. Say this is rain, and the rain comes over and it falls on the ground and soaks into the model and soaks into the ground and travels, and it works its way all the way across to the river. Now, if I put a little bit of pollution, let's say that the Air National Guard is doing a firefighting drill, and they're using firefighting foam, which they did many times in the past. So I'll put some firefighting foam right there. And if you look really close, you can see the firefighting foam sinking into the ground. And if you look really close, it's working its way into this cracked pipe and getting into the pipe. So what happened when they did the firefighting foam is some of it washed off into the stream, but some of it soaked into the ground. And over the years, that pollution has been traveling through the ground. So the model works very fast, but over the years, the pollution has traveled and entered the cracks of the storm sewers underneath the airport. And then the water travels very quickly in the storm sewer down to Recreation Pond, where it's all gathered, and eventually it spills into Silver Stream and eventually the Hudson River. Now, if you look really closely at my model, again, you see that it's already moved across and it's polluting my lake right here. If you look, you probably can't see it, but really closely, there's blue coming out of the holes in the bottom of the lake. And over time, that pollution will work its way all the way across and pollute the river. So you can think of this as Recreation Pond, and you can think of this as the Hudson River. And it's worked its way across. Now, the pollution can travel through the sand and gravel aquifers, not so much. I'm just going to put some pollution in this well right here. See the red? And the red is coming down, and the pollution is traveling in this gravel aquifer. The water is coming from the rain, soaking into the ground, and moving. Because it's higher pressure here, it's moving across the model. But in this case, this gravel is more permeable than that gravel. So the water is actually taking the path of least resistance, and it's going this way through these cracks right here, down into this aquifer, underneath this clay layer. So you can see the pollution traveling this way, and it's working all the way across. And if we wait a minute or two, we will see that the pollution has moved all the way across, and you can see it's already gotten to here. And what it's going to do, it's going to work its way back up to the river. So that's how pollution can travel in an underground aquifer. And so when you have that kind of pollution, you have to figure out where it starts and where it's going. So in the case of the airport, during the remediation program, they're doing a lot of testing. They're digging holes, drilling holes into the soil around spots where they knew were used for firefighting training. And they're trying to identify how far the pollution has traveled in the ground. So already you can see in my model that the red is coming back up here, and it's working its way to the river. And that's what they're trying to identify now at in this stage of the remediation activity, is to identify where the pollution is and then figure out how to get rid of it. So that's a brief overview of what happens in the ground with the pollution and what's happening at Stewart Airport.
My name is Erin Bell. I'm a professor and epidemiologist at the University at Albany College of Integrated Health Studies. I am the co-lead for the New York site of the multi-site health study that is designed to examine the health effects of PFAS contaminated drinking water. The University at Albany and the New York State Department of Health have partnered on a multi-site health study to examine the health effects of the PFAS contaminated drinking water in Newburgh. We have finished collecting data from the study participants here in Newburgh and working closely with our community advisors. We will be providing some of our initial results from our data later this spring and summer, but we will be having an informational meeting this winter to let people know what we are studying and what the initial analyses we plan to conduct with the data will be, and to gather their feedback on our next steps.